Hi guys, so I have been gone for such a long time. I was working on a startup. I was trying to become an entrepreneur. So I was working on a startup and then I started working on two startups at the same time. And then I decided to leave one of the startups because I just felt like leaving. I just felt like leaving. I'm a very young person. I don't think I need to do a lot of things at the same time for me to be able to make a lot of money in the future. I can just calmly start doing things and that'll still bring me a lot of money in the future. So because of that, I decided to focus on only one of the startups and leave the other startup. And now that I left the other startup, I feel like I have enough time to give to my YouTube channel too. So I will try to do some stuff for my YouTube channel. I do have 11 subscribers. Like, even if I left the YouTube channel for a while, none of them really left. At least that's the thing. Like, yeah. I mean, all these people that are subscribers are basically just my online friends. All of my online friends came and subscribed to my YouTube channel because they're cool people. They're just trying to show me some support, and I like that. I love that. Um, so now I want to talk about the story that we were building because I was gone for a long time. So I would imagine that I might, I would imagine that when you leave something and then you come back to it like weeks later, suddenly you have a huge inspiration. You're more clear in what you should think and what you should leave out. So yeah. So, as you guys can remember, our story is a story about a school in the middle of a forest. From this forest, there are half humans in this forest, very weird creatures in this forest. And every once in a while, people get called out to this school. This school building, nobody knows when it was made. And the only thing that they know is why it was made. They know that it was made so that if there's any lost children, I mean like children who are like struggling in their personalities. They're being weird. They're like not being weird. Like they're psychologically or like they're struggling to understand life. So basically they're struggling to understand themselves. They're just so confused, they're just lost. And those lost kids suddenly get this feeling that the school is calling for them, and so they start walking towards the school, and then they enter the school. Nobody knows what is inside the school either. So people just walk in there, and so the all the thing um so people usually only see the fact that kids go there, and then 2 years or like, I don't know, 2 years or sometimes 2 months or sometimes 2 weeks later, these kids come back. And when they came back, they're just more mature than they ever were. They become leaders in their communities. They become so mature suddenly, you know? They become the thing that they were intended to be, instead of just some confused beings. So this time, let me open my notebook and check how many characters we had, because I forgot how many characters we had. I do remember that about everything about each of the characters, but I just don't remember how many characters in total we have. I think it was like 11. Yeah, something like that. Yes, I found it. Okay, cool. So we have Void Rose, Sky, Shadow, Sand, Soul, Whole Blue Sky, Angel, the other angel. The other angel's name, we changed it to Daisy actually, yeah. So Angel, Daisy, Crow, Time. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 students. 11 students. Actually, one of them, Angel, is not a student, or even if she is a student, we have not encountered her yet. Like, we couldn't see her yet. So, I want to start from the beginning. So, we cut to Sand. Sand is a character that is kind of angry right now, kind of sad and angry, and all those emotions right now because he has been called to this school building and he doesn't understand why he was called in here. He thought that he wasn't lost, he thought that he found the life, so why him instead of all the other people around the forest? Because he literally died. He died and then he came back to life. And so somebody who died and then came back to life, they're not immature, they're probably very mature, you know? And because of that he's kinda mad. He's kinda mad that this school thinks that he's lost. He doesn't want to be known as lost. He doesn't want anybody to tell him anything, to be honest. In fact, in he's this guy lives this guy Sand is he lives in the beaches, in the beach part of the forest, and the part of the beach, the area that he lives in, nothing else lives in there. In fact, even in the sea there's a territory where the fish and the other animals, small little creatures, do not cross that area because they know that the moment they cross that area they will be dead. They will be dead because Sand will kill them. Sand kills them instantly. And for somebody who has been killing everything in their own territory, it's really hard to listen to people because, you know, he literally killed things that, like, small creatures, like, you know, small little fish suddenly got like accidentally a wave hit the fish and then the fish accidentally got into his territory. It's dead. It's dead. So Sand kind of feels very like Sand just doesn't know what to think. He's trying to keep his cool. He's looking into the sea. He's feeling the air. He's feeling the air hit him. To him, the air is not softly, um, just breezing on him. You know, it's he imagines the sand just hitting him. He imagines everything to be violent, and because of that, he doesn't think about this life chance as a good thing. You know how sometimes the life tries to teach you something and you just feel sad that the life is trying to teach you something? I don't know if you have ever had that. I mean, everybody has that moment where everybody has that moment where they just something happens in their life and they realize that the reason why this thing is happening in their life is because the life is trying to teach them something, and they get annoyed. They're like, why is life teaching me something like this at this time of my life? Like, I had a moment where I was like, life is trying to teach me something, but I don't want it to teach me anything right now because I'm literally the victim here and life is trying to teach me how to live. That's really messed up, you know? Like, if there's a place, yeah, people do get mad when somebody, instead of helping them, somebody just says, maybe you should do this instead. You know, it's kind of messed up, but life does that to you sometimes. Life makes fun of you. Life gets you through all the hard stuff, and then it tells you that you still have to learn. You're still a child. You still have to learn something. And that's, that really annoys people. And especially Sand, because Sand is literally a creature that kills everything that comes to his territory. Now, he knows that in the morning he is going to have to, like, when yesterday comes, he is going to have to walk towards the school and get into the school building. He like, we just see him sit there kind of angry, but we don't know what he's thinking. What is he possibly thinking? He probably doesn't have anything in his mind, because imagine, I mean, he doesn't know what is going in the school. He doesn't know what the inside of the school looks like. He doesn't know if there's a teacher. he's curious too, but like at the same time he's just very angry. He's just mostly just annoyed. He's like, why me? Why me, man? Like I died and then I came back to life, and you all are telling me that I need fixing. How does that happen? When he gets mad, he just, he just, his whole life has been about him killing things and making this territory for himself, and that makes him feel like a grown person. That's how he thinks about grown people, basically. Now, then we have Rose. Rose is like a very sweet girl. She's a very sweet person, kind person, but she always lives in her head. She always lives in her head. You might be doing something really obvious in front of her, and she will not realize it. Like, she's probably not going to realize it because she lives in her head. Basically, this girl, she's in the depths of the forest, and she is from a place where fruits like just grow from everywhere, so you can just eat the fruits and you don't have to do anything else. So her whole life is just laying in the grass, eating some fruits, and then laying in the grass again. So she has always had the privilege to live like that, and because of that she's never experienced anything in life. She just breathed it, and that's it. She has never gotten to experience anything about life. She doesn't know what life feels like, and because of that she just started creating stories in her own head, and she started using those stories, like just daydreaming all the time, so that maybe the daydreams can um, give some experience to her. And she doesn't like it when people call it a daydream. She says it is a real experience. The daydreams are as important as real life, is what she says. She just says it to make herself feel better about this whole situation. And then we have Sky. In my book, while writing about Sky, I wrote down the fact that Sky is actually the son of Whole Blue Sky and Daisy. Now, Sky is a character who thinks about everybody else, doesn't think about him. He thinks about everybody else. He sympathizes with every single little thing, even a bug, a plant, you know. So that's why he struggles a lot. I would imagine this guy being like trying to step on the stones instead of stepping on the grass. Uh, Even though he literally lives in a grassy mountain, he lives in a mountain that has a lot of grass on it, and there like he even like has goats. He has goats, and he just makes like harvests milk from the goats and then makes like stuff out of it, cheese and yogurt and stuff. But yeah, so he lives in a grassy mountain, but I would imagine this dude trying to just just try to not step on the grass too hard so that the grass doesn't get injured. I could imagine this dude do some crazy thing that we wouldn't understand as normal human beings, but as him, he would understand. He just is sympathizing a lot, and he probably got this from his mother. His mother is Daisy. Daisy just is literally the same thing with Sky. She always cares about other people. She has always helped other people. She has always been faithful as well. But for some reason, no matter how faithful she was, at the end of like no matter how faithful she was throughout her life, right now her life is very sad. Nothing good happened to her. Every time something bad happened to her. And she is now so confused. She is like, why is nothing good happening to my life? Did I do something wrong? I don't think I did anything wrong. I've been helping people. I've been staying faithful. Then why is God doing this to me? Why is life doing this to me? Is what she thinks. And that's why she also attended this school. So you understand the difference between Daisy and the difference like this Daisy and Sky. Sky is just the child version of Daisy maybe. Sky just thinks about other people, and because he thinks about other people so much, or like other animals or any other creature literally, because he thinks about other things so much he forgets to think about himself. He forgets to eat, he forgets to sleep. He's not healthy, he looks very weak. Yeah. Even though he is also supposed to have the privilege that he literally has so many goats, and he can just make milk and drink that milk, and milk is supposed to be very nutritious, but he looks malnourished and he looks tired, like he has eye bags, like I don't know what that's called. Eye bags is what it's called, I think. Yeah, he just looks like he didn't get a lot of sleep and didn't get a lot of nutrition throughout his life. He has injuries in on her hands and stuff. Yeah, because in the book I did write the fact that Sky actually was kind of being like used as a slave by his other siblings, because his other siblings realized how sympathetic this boy is and decided to use that against him, and by that they just used him as a slave because they were all very lazy. So they were like, yeah, just do this, do that every single day, and they would just lay down together and have fun, play cards. Shadow is very, I don't know if you get my story's vibe, but even if you didn't, from this you probably would. Basically, each of my characters are very weird in their own way. So Shadow, basically, she lives in a cave-like structure. Like, you know how there are caves that has water in them? Like, basically there's a lake, and then right next to the lake there is a cave. And in the cave, the lake still has, like, you still have water in the cave, you know? So, she is in a she lives inside that cave with her family. Her family sort of thinks of themselves as the queens and kings of this cave, because this cave just looks very, all the stones are like shiny and stuff, so they're like, this looks more like a, this looks like it was God, like given to us by God or something. So they started to think about themselves as queens and king, queens and kings of this cave. And this queen and king, her mom and father, this queen and king has like a lot of daughters. There's like, I imagine like seven or eight siblings. Like most of them are girls. In fact, just let's just say that all of them are girls, or maybe one of them is a guy, but we never see the guy in the frame. Okay, now this Shadow, for some reason, she tries to hide from her sisters all the time. Like, there's very, like, she just, every time a sibling passes from a water that is right next to her hiding spot, she tries to hide even more. And throughout her life, she is always hidden. She also always wanted them to forget about the fact that she exists. In fact, at some point they did forget, but then they kind of saw a little movement from her, and then they were like, oh, wait, she's alive. But they never really approach her, they never say anything to her. How did this happen? From the book, in the book, I wrote down the fact that basically this girl, um, she she was made fun of. Somebody made fun of her. One of the siblings, one of the sisters, made fun of her, and for some reason this girl took it too seriously. I mean, yeah, it was a serious joke. It wasn't just a silly joke, but she took it too seriously. And she's way too weak. Like, she's very sensitive to everything. And because of that, she started hiding, and nobody cared about her, even if she started hiding. And like, initially she was thinking, let me just hide so that my family understands how important I am, and everything will be good. But as the time passed and as she realized that nobody's looking for her, she just wanted everybody to forget that she exists. And that's when she gets a call. She gets this feeling of urge to go to this school building, but she suppresses it. She says to herself, no, I'm not going to go to that school. I don't need that school right now. I don't need that school is what she says to herself. But because the school realizes that this girl is not coming to the school sends this feeling to her parents, and her parents are like, oh my god, our little daughter needs to go to that school building. And so they find her, hold her from both, arms, and throw her outside, literally outside the cave, you know. I saw outside of the cave, outside of the water too. Like they throw her onto a piece of land, and basically right next to the lake, and basically she looks at them and she's just like, she doesn't remember how she looks like. She doesn't remember how to make eye contact with people. So she just like, they throw her there and she just doesn't know how to act. So she just looks at the floor a little bit, stares at the floor so that her parents maybe think that she's blind or something, so that she doesn't have to deal with what they're going to say to her. And she acts like she's deaf and blind at the same time, so that nobody engages with her. So they just stare at her for a second, like for a minute. They just wait for her to start walking towards the school, but she doesn't, and they get bored, and so they get inside the cave, everybody. And when they get inside the cave, she just keeps staring at that wall. She's stuck staring at that wall. She doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't know how to do anything else, other than staring at the wall. So she stares at that wall until the nighttime comes. And at the nighttime, she's more comfortable because she's always been hiding in the shadows. So now at the nighttime, it just feels like she can move all of a sudden. And now she starts moving towards the school. Then we have Soul. Soul is a very interesting character. She looks like a human, has a human face, but she's not actually a human. She is a creature that was made by the forest itself. And the forest was basically going to send her to the city, two different cities where people live, and she was going to observe people. She doesn't know anything about what the people feel like. She's basically just what the nature would think about people. I wanted to have her in this classroom because I wanted to see what her reaction to everything is going to be. I wanted something to symbolize the nature, and that's what Soul is. And I just think that it's so funny how we look to, like, how we, in the perspective of forest, how do we look to things that live in the forest? How do we look to other animals? We have Whole Blue Sky. Oh, we didn't write down Hell. So we also have a character in the name of Hell. Hell, right now his name is Cotton. Cotton basically comes from a city to this forest because he wants to leave the humanity. He just got bullied in school, and that getting bullied in school made him feel like he doesn't want to be part of this humanity anymore. And so he says to his parents, he cries a lot and he doesn't eat and he doesn't sleep. And he just tells her parents that he wants to go to a forest to stay in. And so her family, is like, you know what? I mean, this dude is not eating, not doing anything. But then her family is like, we can't do this thing. So they just force him to eat and stuff. But then he starts hurting himself, and so they're like, okay, this is the last thing that was gonna happen. And yeah, before he injures himself too much, they take her to this forest, and that forest ends up being Blueberry Forest, which is the forest that the school building is located in. Angel is a character. Angel is a very, like, you can't tell if she's actually an angel or a human being, because whoever's life this girl enters, that person ends up having, like, um, that person ends up um, learning a lot about themselves. Like, she always enters into the life of a person who is lost, and then that person suddenly starts understanding a lot about themselves, or ends up having a big realization about their life when they meet this girl. This girl is very mysterious too. She lives in a one of the barks of a very big tree, and living in the bark of a very big tree in that forest is not a huge thing. It's not a big deal. But the thing is that, like, she and her family is just very isolated from others. They don't talk much to people. And she, I don't know if she's aware of the fact that she can help people like this. She doesn't know that she can help people like this, actually. She doesn't know that the fact that by talking to other people, she gets to fix a lot of things. She doesn't know that she has a quality like this. Crow. Crow is a guy who, because of something that her parents, like her grandparents, did, he has to work every single day, and if he doesn't work, he'll fall down and die just like his friends. And he doesn't want to die, but he doesn't want to keep climbing this cliff, and the cliff seems to never end. And he knows that he's probably going to also just get older and older and older and just die. He knows that's what's going to happen in here, but he doesn't have any choice. So he's just so lost. He just doesn't know what the hell to do, you know. So he wants to now go to attend this school, but sadly he can't attend the school physically because he has to work every single day, and he can't leave the place that he's working in. Because of that, he because he has such a big urge to go to the school, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the school is going to try and fix his situation so that he can attend the school, or maybe something else. We don't know. Time is just a character who makes fun of people. I don't know why I decided to come up with this character. I don't know why. I just wanted a person to be in the school, another person, and this boy is just a normal boy. He just has a common sense, and he just says whatever he thinks, and because of that he can be a little harsh sometimes. But I mean, he seems to also understand people more than anybody else. Like, he seems to have, like, he probably isn't even aware of the fact that he's so good at understanding people, but he seems to always understand people in a deeper level than other people, and he seems to always just make fun of those things that he's understanding. And usually this kind of makes people like surprised. The people are like, how did he understand that about me and stuff. So yeah, these are the characters. I will tomorrow I will start the story, restart the story, and I think I might also just write the book. Yeah, and I will just tell you guys what's happening in the book every single day. Bye now.